Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map by a creator we've never done before, but they do have plenty of work already on the workshop and a unique kind of vibe I get from their workshop as well. I'm actually looking at one of their maps possibly for Saturday next week, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Today's map, well, if you've just bought the game and you want to indulge in a very first map off of the workshop, then, well, this will not disappoint you. If you're a polished, experienced city builder, then this might be a bit ordinary, but certainly as a first indulgence into workshop creations, probably not a bad choice. Also, a little bit like this channel. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, and subscribers too, of course. Today's map, here we go, I'm always most comfortable when I'm least comfortable. Cheviënnoux by a sophrosyne. Now, I've had a look at Cheviënnoux and I can't make out what it's supposed to be in terms of translation. There's your start square, very usable, a bit like a coastline but a river. There's your terrain heights, mostly flat across 25 tiles with some kind of giant mountain on the top there. We have resources across the map, good and strong, pretty much everything you want there. And if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, that's what it looks like. Salmon, what we got everything there apart from, well, maybe a hint of anchovies around the coast. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, it's a 100% vanilla map, so nothing. No DLC, no mods, nothing. We'll be using the vanilla European theme. We'll be also using the, let me check, realistic 1.2 LUT, that's the one. As if it was ever going to be anything else. Right, okay, down to our ground level and the map in general. Now, this map for me is a little bit like rustic bread, you know, artisan bread. And you go to the bakers and they've got like knobbly looking loaves. It's kind of like a knobbly loaf, and I mean that both in a good and in a bad way at the same time. First of all, bridges. They have a vibe of their own. Little bit of blue mantle, and this is going to be definitely a theme for today's map. Many of the bridges, not most, many of the bridges have a bit of blue mantle at both sides. Not so bad on this side, just a hint of blue mantle on that side. And then at the next bridge over here, going to see probably very similar. On this side, looks like it's going to be blue mantle. Yep, we got quite chunky blue mantle there. And on the other side, potential for blue mantle. But they're a little bit humpbacked suspension bridges. Yeah, look again, over there. Rustic bread, what am I talking about? Well, unless of course you have a gluten allergy, then I think most of us do like a little bit of bread. Most of us. First intersection, vanilla wishbone. We'll just flip straight over that one, shall we? Yes, so rustic bread. We all like a bit of rustic bread. This map, I think, is kind of like the best thing since sliced bread before sliced bread. Yeah, sort of. It looks good. It looks strong. Rustic bread tends to look good and look strong. Also looks a little bit rough around the edges. This map looks a little bit rough around the edges. It looks tasty. You can make a really good sandwich on rustic bread, and you can make a really good city on this map. And rail over road, a little bit uppy downy, but again, rustic bread. And it's also well formed. This map. It's pretty much the shape of a slice of a squared off slice of bread. We've got another vanilla wishbone here. Very up and over and back down again. Plopped in, does the job. Not pretty, but that's coming from me. It's coming from me. Taking all the mirrors down in my house for many a reason. Those intersections do tend to sneak up behind you, and I don't want to see that. Shall we check for the... Looks like we might have got away with this one. It is very much an uppy downy bridge again, though. It will allow for shipping to pass underneath it, and there is shipping on this map, which you'll check out in the second half of the show as always. Yeah, the other thing that artisan bread about this one is it's kind of sliced down the middle already. A slice of artisan bread. And that is the river, which was a straight cut river right the way down through the middle, which I think we're going to call this one a fantasy map. It's not a realistic map, but it's also not a bizarrely crazy map either. It's a good strong map, and good strong cities can be built on it. So anyway, that's I think my final reference to artisan bread would be, yeah, it's pretty much, it's strong, it's bread and butter, it does the job. And I've seen much worse attempts at doing a strong city builders map than this one. Probably the most interesting part of the map around here as we follow the highway around between some knobbly looking hills and some little lakes and pools here and there. Heading down towards the start square. Start square intersection is right here. And again, it's a plopped vanilla wishbone. Not too much to complain about. It does the job. Ain't pretty. And we've got an asset of the day down there somewhere. A few of them. This time we're going to Cluss. And they're retaining walls, pack number 1, which means there's probably more to come. There's a whole different set of varieties of the retaining walls. I thought about working the environment around it, but I didn't want to play too much with the environment because it then means working the environment back again. And it's a pretty flat start square, so we'll just pop them in here, and you can imagine how the if we put a little bit of a slope on the back and have this working as a retaining wall holding back the soil, which is kind of what they're all about. So yes, of course, Cluss, top quality when it comes to networking. They know their networks. Factoids, because factoids, why not? Why not? The 1970 World Cup soccer football match between El Salvador and Honduras was so highly charged that it resulted in the two countries embarking in a 3-day war. Not funny. Do not be chuckling and picking on people. It's sport. What's all this about, huh? You can get your revenge in sports, of course. Argentina, 1986. Yes, okay. Retaining walls, pack number 1 by Cluss. Today's asset of the day. Yes, I'm pretty sure the hand of God was very much celebrated in Argentina, just like 5 years after the short disagreements that they had with us over in the UK over the Falklands. I'm not even going to try the Spanish version of that. Malvinas, Las Malvinas. I said I'm not going to, and I'm still failing. But yes, let's not get into discussions on that one. Always best to stay away from real life politics. But yes, I feel that the handball, and of course the incredible goal where Maradona ran past about 32 English players backwards and forwards and slotted the ball past our goalkeeper David Seaman. Again, blue mantle going on there. That was truly, even if you're not into soccer, if you're not really into football at all, that goal from Maradona was just quality. Just quality. An amazing footballer of his time. In fact, of all time, really, I guess. But that handball, how did the referee not see it? No idea. Down to the rail. No, I'm still bitter about it. Now, to be fair, though, I'm going to keep talking soccer. I don't care. Oh, but before I talk more soccer, the rail. Catenaries are missing down here. I think this is a mod issue. And you'll see here me playing now with the Catenary Replacer mod. Look, we have different selects on, off, Dutch style, German style. I went through all of them, not all here, but I've been through all of them, and you know what? They're not appearing. And yet, in a few moments' time, they start popping in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to unsubscribe and then resubscribe to that mod to get the mod reset on my system. So I'm not going to come down. We removed the catenaries for the last map review, and then, look, there they go. They're popping back in. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Not marking the map down for this. It's just something odd going on with my game, so not marking the map down for that. Anyway, yes, what was I saying about the Argentina-England game? Argentina, I mean, it ended up 2-1, and we, the English, very nearly got back into that game, but we didn't deserve to. Argentina were all over us for 70 minutes. It was only in the last 20 minutes when we made some attacking. The team selection was really defensive. It was, let's do everything we can to contain. Well, start square is over there, so this is as close we get to the start square with the rail. There it is. That's the nearest we get. There's actually rail on the opposite side of the map, but this is on the side that you'll get immediate, well, close-ish access to, not immediate. So yes, it was only when substitutions were made and we brought on some attacking players and really went for it that, yeah, we very nearly scraped an equaliser. Gary Lineker should have scored. He knows he should have scored. He says he should have scored right near the end for the equaliser. But it was never deserved. It was never ever deserved. Argentina were in a different class, and Maradona as well. So, all credit for that. Talking about football, because there's not really too much to talk about here. It's bread and butter. Artisan bread and butter at that. Let's take an intermission and come back for the shipping, shall we?
Are your soggy little Sims constantly getting even more soggy? Are you continuously drowning your trees and soaking your city? Then you need BonBonB's flood management tutorial. Click the information button now.
And so we're back to Cheviënnoux by Sophrosyne and the shipping. That one goes through beautifully, okay? This one gets a little close to the post, but it's not too close, so that's okay as well. We have two shipping routes. Most of them run side by side, you'll see in a moment. This one here, yeah, it's going to be shipping clipping through this pillar on the left there without question. And then we head around this way. Now we've got two running parallel. On this side, it would definitely clip through that pillar there. And then we join up together. And then, well, here, probably scrapes that pillar. Winding away up the middle of this really straight looking river. It could be straight lines here. Again, clipping through that pillar there without question. Then, well, we're going down the slope here. And also, the two shipping lines get really close together. So one coming up and one coming down will crash through each other. Again, it doesn't affect gameplay at all. It will crash through that pillar as well. They're not very polished, these shipping routes, I'm afraid. We are going through the highest points of the bridges, but those pillars are going to get hit either side. Put a pillar right in the middle of the shipping lane and the ships will pass on either side. But put it just to one side and you've got problems. Water flow, we have this one river running down the middle of the map, which is pretty straight and true, and there is plenty of water flow. So if you're one of these players that likes to pump and drain into a river, well, you're going to have no problems. This is, like I say, a good base game map, a very good map for those who've played their first workshop map. Right, okay, overall, there's your squareness in the middle of the 25 tiles. So if you're playing 25 tiles, it's going to be perfect. If you're playing 9 tiles, it'll be perfect. And if you're playing 81 tiles, you've got all the islands around the outside as well. So that's also perfect. We have Mount Doom over here with all the water pouring out of the top of it. This is where all the water flow is coming from. It's dramatic. I did say fantasy map, didn't I? And I think this counts as fantasy. And you know what? It doesn't actually look that bad. It doesn't look great, but I've seen attempts like that look just awful. And that doesn't look awful. For what it is what it is. This is part of your shipping route. This is where it drops away. I don't feel there should be any shipping routes going up and down that at all. Unless you are in a canoe, of course. Very rugged landscape over here, which has been done with, I believe, one of the vanilla terrain tools, just to really make the whole thing very knobbly. It's not supposed to be buildable over here. But if you look at it, it looks very digitized. Let's find a spot. Yeah, it looks very digitized as we come down here. So what I'd like to have seen, especially in these slightly flatter areas, just a little bit of the smoothing brush. I don't mind the land being a bit knobbly, but it needs to be a little bit less patterned. And so I'd just like to see a slight smoothing here and there, leaving maybe the rugged bits just for like the cliff edges, possibly. Start square down here. Want to see how flat it is? Well, let me tell you, it's very flat. So let me show you, we do have terrain lines over here, so yeah, there are hills there. Actual build space is completely 100%, 0 lines, so perfectly flat. Again, perfect for those brand new to the game that want a nice, easy city build, which is going to be a big build. And that's what you've got going on here. We've got a few nice little lakes dotted around, good shapes for the lakes. Not breaking any molds, but certainly does more than a good job there, and certainly a good job there too. But what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Meanwhile, back in Cheviënnoux, I get to vote on what I feel. Aesthetically, right, rustic bread, okay? It looks, knobbly. It looks very knobbly. It's got a strong aesthetic vibe. It's not one that you're going to forget. Don't think there's any really exciting design about the map, but it is memorable. Not an ugly map, not an attractive map, memorable map. So I'll take the 3 stars and I'll raise it just a little bit to medium high 3. Detailing, yeah, I've got a lot of blue mantle here and there, and I'd like to see a little bit more work with the terrain texture and the knobbliness. So I'm going to go 3 stars again because it's not really so bad, but I'm going to go really low. Need to fix those blue mantles. Gameplay potential, good strong city build here. Probably won't inspire the experienced players, but if you're a new player, it'll be very good indeed. I'm going to go for a high 3 stars for gameplay. And that's it, Cheviënnoux by Sophrosyne. And like I say, I've seen a couple of their other maps. One of them I'm shortlisting for next week. I'm not promising it'll be done next week, but I'm shortlisting it. Because obviously we've done them this week and there'll be some. I've only got 6 slots for maps. I could do with about 20 every week. Could do with plenty more hours as well every week, but never mind. Right, we've got to the end of the show. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day into the comments. Part of our secret society. You will check out for people's comments as well. See who else has used this word in the comments. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Steam Weekly Chart Show. See you then.